nice and crunchy. Today's world is fortunately and sometimes unfortunately filled with so much information overload. There's so much good information there about what to eat, what not to eat, how to live a healthier lifestyle. And sometimes the simplest, the most useful, hacks for living healthy are the most underrated. For instance, drinking more water. As simple as it sounds, can be so underrated, but it can transform people's health. I have heard one too many people say how drinking more water help them lose weight and help them to be healthier. Another underrated one is just taking walks. As simple as it sounds, people spend money with gym membership, I inclusive, just to try and stay healthy and fit. Whereas you can just go for walks, free, cheap, and it's so effective. Now, today's video is about one highly underrated superfood. We all know about the benefits of avocados. Yes, they're a superfood. They are expensive for someone like me in the West because they have to be imported from, lots of far distant countries, but they are so good. But there's something about avocados that we always miss out on. Now, I want to go back to a backstory and tell you why I'm talking about this. A very short story it will be. Okay, so a few years ago, I have a cousin about the same age as me. And at the time she was dealing with endometriosis, I'm sure she wouldn't mind me sharing. And she was always buying organic food. So I'll go to her house and me with my big mouth, I'll be like, why have you got all this organic food? And I would mince no words in telling her how wasteful she was in spending money on organic food. Now, fast forward a few years later, she comes to my house and she's like, I can't believe, Chimeka, you are spending this much on organic food and you are eating this much organic food and talking much about organic food. Now, what changed? Knowledge. That was all, nothing more than knowledge. Obviously, my ignorance and the lack of having a health challenge did not help me, and my big mouth wouldn't let me just keep quiet and listen. So guys, I want to encourage you out there. If you don't know something, try and get more information about it. And then you are in a better position to have a good argument. Okay, so today we are talking about the humble avocado. Avocados are so nutritious. We know about the numerous health benefits, like they are rich in B1, B2, B complex, magnesium, potassium, sulfur, and they are so good in good monosaturated fats that are good for our brain and also our heart. They are good for people that are on ketogenic diet. But what about the avocado seeds? These simple, humble seeds found inside avocados have been found by research to have more than, listen, 70% more antioxidants than the fruit. So when next you buy avocados and you eat the fruit, do not discard the seeds. Now, this video is just a reminder to myself and to you inclusive, because I went to this cousin's house of mine recently and she served hubby with avocado coffee. I believe it was a bit of mixture of avocado seeds and coffee, but he didn't complain. He didn't find anything wrong with the coffee. He finished his cup of coffee. And this reminded me that, yes, one simple hack. Once upon a time, I have made avocado seed powder. I used it and I actually enjoyed how I felt after drinking it. But did I continue? No. Why? It's just that there's so much information overload once again. But I want you to remember, if there is one thing in all those health informations, try and look at those underrated superfoods. They are simpler and they are best for us to incorporate. You might say, I don't always get the time to buy these many avocados, and how can I then go ahead making the seeds? Guys, you can store this in the freezer. So this is a batch I have been preserving and storing in my freezer for a good couple of months, really. And sometimes we forget, sometimes we remember. And this is what they look like after being in the freezer. So you don't have to just, buy a big batch like I bought here and, make the seeds. But if you have fresh avocados and you don't have the seeds, simple as this. So this is an avocado, give it a good clean rinse. This is a handy avocado peeler or cutter I got years and years ago. You can use a knife, but this I found to be really easy. So just go around your avocado like so. We're just trying to get the seed, nothing more. And then split it open, attaches to the seed, and you can twist the seed out. Okay, so I won't go ahead to make all of this because that's a lot of hassle. I'm gonna go ahead and process these ones that have been pre-prepped. All right. Sorry, I haven't introduced myself. If this is your first time meeting me, this is Mecca. This is Mecca's Garden and Kitchen Journey, where I share growing my own food in the UK, in my allotment and in my back garden, and also cooking healthy, nutritious meals with my family and healing with food. Actually use it for so many different things, like add it to your smoothies, add it to your salads, and even probably bake with it. So it's not restrictive to teas. But just so you know, the antioxidants will be better when they are raw and not cooked. Heating destroys antioxidants. All right, so we're gonna use either a grater. In the past, when I've made this, I've just used a simple grater, but I just wanted to do something that would be quicker, so we're gonna use a different machine. This is a special salad chopper I have. I always forget it. That's another one. I always forget it, and I use a handheld mandolin, but this is a safer one to use for your chopping that wouldn't chop your fingers off. So if you have tools and gadgets you don't use often, especially in your health journey, try and remember them, dig them up. It's a food processor you hidden somewhere in your cupboard. Get it out and use it, guys. Whilst we're at this, leave a comment. What are the most underrated superfoods that are easy for you to access that you don't use, or the health tips you don't do? So for me, I want to really improve on walking, like taking long walks. I have a plot neighbor that takes like 19K walks. Like, this man is in his 70s, crying out loud, and he goes for walks and hikes with his wife, and I'm here like I'm just, obviously life is busier, I have a young family, but I could do more walking. So that's one thing I want to really put in more effort to doing. So what is your own one thing? Leave it in the comment section. Let us all learn and let us all be encouraged. You know, it's this space is for learning and encouraging one another. Anyway, one thing I love about this, it has suction, so you just put that there and it has a good suction to your work surface. Just pop a couple seeds in there, put that in, and just we finished chopping it, and this is what it looks like. It actually changes color a bit, as you can see there. I'm not sure how we can prevent this discoloration, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just popping it in there, and then I'm making sure this is very low fan, and I leave the door of my oven a bit ajar so it's not shut completely. Now that's it. That's all you need to do. And I hope, you know, this video has helped remind you that the simple health hacks that we always hear about, like drinking more water, going for walks, the simple ones that are very practical, easy to incorporate into your lifestyle, we do not neglect them, because all in all, we can improve our health cheaply and freely without adding so many adjuncts. Just improving what we eat, resting, sleeping better. Yes, that's one big one, sleeping better. So going to sleep early. Obviously, if you struggle with insomnia, I understand. I have struggled with insomnia in the past, but as you improve your diet, your lifestyle, and stop worrying, insomnia will go. And all thanks to God, trusting God for your life and your health. For me, going back to my faith, standing rooted in God's word, which is, for me as a Christian, the Bible, has helped establish my healing.
2,000 years later.
Now look at that. So we go ahead and process it. It's really easy. When I blend things, I dehydrate. If I don't store in the freezer, one little tip is I just air it a bit, and sometimes I pop it back into the dehydrator for maybe half an hour, just to ensure there's no moisture left there. That's really important. But if you're storing it in the freezer, it's fine. I love storing my dehydrated goods in the freezer, really. This is what I do. This is how I use it. I've got my cup of tea here. I have a concoction of so many different herbs. I would add a little teaspoon like that in there. Give it a stir. And I'm just going to let it, when it is hot, so you don't want to cook it. You want it to just sort of sit and steep. So that's just hot tea or hot water. And I'm just gonna, my herbal tea concoctions are different. So today we have dandelions, stinging nettles, and what else do we have in there? Lemon balm. I think that's what we have in there. So it just depends on my mood and what I have. And I dehydrate them all myself, but you can always buy them. You don't have to make it yourself. So now we have a jar. We've let this air for about half an hour. I love these funnels, wide mouth funnels, to tip things into jars. It just makes less mess. So if you're like me, you dehydrate a lot, you preserve food a lot, and you put things in jars a lot, just get one of these. It was off Amazon. I can't remember how much, but it just preserves your work surface, reduces your workload. All in all, we're trying to do these things and not do so much work when we do it, okay? This is quite full. So there you have it. We have preserved our avocado seeds into a beautiful jar, and that would last for a long time. So it's not a job you need to do quite often. I know it's a bit obviously time consuming if you have to hand grate, but that's why I use the food chopper. And if you're not storing in the fridge, conditioning your dehydrated goods, you have to keep shaking it. So every day or every other day, just go into the jar and pick it from the pantry where you've stored it and just give it a little shake, just so you don't have any condensation around it. And after about a week, you have conditioned it, it's safe, and you don't have clumps. But for me, I love preserving the integrity for as long as I can, and I put that in the freezer and take it out when I need. And yes, glass is safe in the freezer. So that's it. That's what we were making, and this is actually a high antioxidant packed powder. I can use in smoothies, I can use for my baking, I can use in my teas and salads as well. And it is so easy to make and cheap and free, really, because I'm not buying anything extra. So after eating my avocado, all I need to do, preserve the seeds, and voila, I have an antioxidant packed powder that I can use for a long time. So thank you guys for watching. Have you enjoyed this video? Has it added any value to you? Leave a comment, let me know what recipes you use avocado seed powder for, and if you've ever tried the seed powder in a tea or whatever, let's know the benefits you experience. For me, like, it's just sort of soothing. I've seen people say it's good for joints. I've also seen people say they use it as a tincture. I've never tried that. So, you know, infusing it in alcohol and then also adding it to, I had castor oil. I've never tried it, so I'm just sharing what I've heard people use it for. And obviously you can use it as a face mask, which is really, really good. It's antioxidant, so it's going to really help, you know, nourish the skin and also help the skin to be a lot more supple, I believe, and a lot more youthful, you know, because that's what antioxidants are. They're anti-aging, aren't they? Anyway, so it's so versatile and it's so easy. My point is, those hacks that sound so complicated that we always forget, they're the simplest ones that can be so overlooked and they can benefit us the most. So remember, if you even can just get up and go for a walk, drink more water, sleep better, and try not to stress. Those are amazing things that will benefit you and they cost you nothing. Okay? But thank you once again. And until next time, see you in another video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you. Mwah. Bye-bye.